Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Wrestling Diaries. This is the podcast show for the average Joe, where we find out about the art of struggle. We have like regular people from society and people from different countries on here talking about the things they wrestle with and promoting their being themselves. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the other platforms that host podcasts. Also, for the video content, YouTube. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more content. Follow us, send us donations, do something. We're trying to make something happen. I got an old buddy on today, Mr. Josh the Redman Bradford.
All right.
What up, dog?
Man, how's it going? You okay?
I'm doing well, man. I'm so glad I could get you on the show.
I'm thrilled to be here, man. This is awesome.
A funny little footnote, when me and Matt started doing the show, you were actually one of the first names that popped up about me inviting to come on to the show. Just because, like, obviously our friendship, but then also, like, I was like, yeah, he has like a really good voice. He's like that deep, raspy, like sexy man voice.
Yeah. You're tuned into Quiet Storm. No, I'm just kidding. No Quiet Storms right now.
Read us off some haikus real quick.
A burning bridge. No, we're not doing that either.
So for people listening to this right now, I'll give a little small profile on you. You live in the Birmingham area. You're a big music advocate.
Oh, man. Huge. Yeah.
And you got a cool black hat on.
Hey, man. I appreciate that. This hat, and if someone from this company does see this hat, this is a brand of water, and it's one of my favorites. Liquid Death. Murder your thirst.
Nice.
So it's awesome. I love trucker hats, man. It's been that way forever.
Yeah, dude.
Usually we're talking about music and bands. If I go see a band and they're selling a trucker hat, they're probably going to get money from me.
So that is legitimately water.
Yeah,
just like what kind of water? Like?
It's water that comes in a can, and their whole platform is, they want to help stop pollution. That's why we put it in cans instead of plastic. Murder your thirst. It's the whole advertising behind it is very heavy metal. Like, their mascot's this big muscle bound dude with an axe, and his head is just a can of the water. And you can go and look up their videos for advertising, and he's just like destroying thirst demons throughout. So me being like kind of a metal dude, I saw this advertising. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, yeah, I gotta know what this is about. And then I ordered some. I was like, yo, this water is actually really good. It's really clean, really velvety. I know I sound like a water snob. I'm
a total water snob. Dude, Matt's drinking Fiji over there. Look at that.
Fiji's good stuff. I like the Body Armor water, but the Liquid Death, man. And for Christmas, they did a like a whole line of stuffed animals from the ocean, but they're all like straws sticking out of their nose, kind of like, this is what pollution does to sea animals. But it's like it's a macabre way of promoting anti-pollution.
I just got a hilarious mental image of like a shark, but with like a human body. Yeah, and he's got a 6-pack of seals in the little plastic rings, and he's like popping them off.
All right, Liquid Death. So if we have your attention now, pay more attention to that. Make it happen.
Hey! If you do that, though, that's my idea. Give me a little cheddar cheese.
Cut a check, man. Just a little slice of that cheddar.
Let me get a little bit more.
But yeah, dude. Like I said, heavy metal advertising speaks directly to my heart, just like heavy metal music does. So that's why I was like, yeah, I gotta check that out. So
why do you like that heavy metal stuff? That's the devil's music, right?
Oh yeah, full blown Satan's got me by the balls. Oh, let me check. Yeah,
did I say that to Robert last time?
On the left. Rest in peace, Dimebag. Man, I like it because it feels really real. There's a lot of music that doesn't feel real, and it's like a lot of times when I'm listening to music, when I'm checking new bands, I'm not like, how does it sound? I'm like, how does it feel? And it's something that when I first started listening to heavier bands, I was starting to like kind of cross over from child into adolescence. So it's like preteen type stuff, and I'm finding stuff like White Zombie,
Nice,
and Silverchair and Bush, and then at the same time, also discovering some gangster rap like Bone Thugs and Harmony, dude.
God, up high, bro. Dude, I love Bone Thugs and
one
Harmony.
of the baddest rap groups ever. Like,
agreed.
But yeah, I was like a 10 or 11-year-old kid, and I heard the self-titled Korn album, and I was like, I've never heard anything like this. Like I never have. And that I just started spiraling, dude. And from there I was just like, what's more stuff that has this vibe, and then you keep going further, and then you find stuff like Deftones and Pantera and just all the way down. And then, it opens the door that opens the door that opens the door that opens the door. And you can go on forever. And then you finally, my favorite part about listening to music is eventually you're going to dig, and you're going to come back full circle to where these bands came from. So it's like you're listening to Pantera and you're like, okay, well, where did that come from? And you're like, okay, well, I hear a little bit of Metallica, and they covered some Black Sabbath songs. So you're always going back and figuring out where things come from. And it's just, it's like
this plethora of just art blasting into your brain.
Exactly.
A real quick side note on, you were talking about Korn. I got a funny story about that. So one of the times they came to Birmingham, like a while back, so they played like a really great set list, and they ended with Freak on a Leash, which is probably arguably their biggest song. Commercially, it's their biggest song.
Best music video too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then the beatboxing that Jonathan Davis does is just,
dude.
Yeah. Anyway, so
they
ended with that, and people were kind of confused, right? Because they did the thing like a lot of big bands do. They play like a really good song, and then they go off stage, and everybody's like, "One more song," and they did that. And so everybody knew that they were going to do that, but they assumed that they would have done that with Freak on a Leash. They came back and just come out with it, right?
Yeah,
and they didn't. They played Freak on a Leash, and they was like, "Oh yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate you, Birmingham. You're lovely." Blah blah blah, and they left. And everybody's like, "Oh damn, I guess it is over," because they played the biggest their song. And so it got dark and quiet, and people, like half the people were kind of like, "One more song," and other people were just really confused,
right?
And so
people do we leave yet?
People started getting up, and then all of a sudden, dude, like talking about now almost gives me chills. You just hear bagpipes start playing in the pitch black.
Yes, sir.
Bagpipes.
That's giving me chills. That's
and then people, you just hear the roar of the crowd.
Yeah,
dude, I'll never forget that. And then they played, Shoots and Ladders.
Yeah,
and then they ended with that. And
I think I was at that one. I've seen Korn a few times, and all the times I've been in Birmingham. One of my first shows that I remember going to, like as far as metal music, it's definitely the first one as far as metal music goes. I may have gone to like country shows with my mom prior to this that I don't immediately recall. It was Korn and Rob Zombie at the BJCC, and it was just like it was insane. And my mom hated Rob Zombie.
I can't imagine why,
bro. Yeah, she was not stoked on what he had going on with his stage set. But my 14-year-old mind was absolutely blown, and then all the pieces were collected and it was put back together as something different. And again, it continued my journey for what else is out there like this. And, again, that opens the door, that opens the door, that opens the door. And seeing Korn videos and seeing Korn performances is what made me want to play music. And just different stuff like that. You see it happen, you're like, God, these dudes have such a sound, and they're getting across, and it's like relatable to me, to what I'm going through. And even if their lyrics aren't exactly what I'm going through, I can find a way to apply it to something, make it make sense to me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think that music's really important too, in the sense of like, especially for like young boys coming up, you have all this like angst and anger, and it was, for me anyways, and Matt, it was a great outlet, dude.
Yeah,
right. Great outlet for anger and angst and just all that stuff.
100%. And that's what I was talking about a minute ago. Is you're in the middle of finding yourself, and anytime you see a movie and it's like, oh, it's a coming of age, the soundtrack is usually a big part of that.
Absolutely.
Like you watch Almost Famous, and it's like well, it's kind of a coming of age tale. You get to see this dude like going through puberty and like things in life, and the soundtrack just beats. It's so good. So it's like, if it's like that in the movies, you definitely have to have that in life. And it's it's the most cliche thing in the world, but if I didn't have music to keep me sane, I'm not sure how things would have gone. I'm not saying, I would have like ended up a serial killer or something, but I would definitely be less interesting. Like, it'd probably just be more boring.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, people are like, oh, I don't really listen to music. I'm like, I don't.
That's weird.
Yeah, I have no understanding of that. I'm like, how do you not like? How?
It's like people saying they don't like water. It's like, oh, I don't like it. It doesn't have any taste.
Yeah, well, sorry,
Doesn't have a
sorry
taste.
about your refined palate. Enjoy your chicken nuggets, but like, but no, it's always really blown my mind when people are like, I'm not really into music. I'm like, nothing has moved you that you've heard. I'm like, you never heard a song that's giving you goosebumps, or it's.
I had a friend of mine. Her name's Emma. She's a shout out Emma. God,
I don't know you, Emma, but shout out
Emma Burati. She's an opera singer.
Oh,
right,
nice.
and she's also a vocal coach. She was on the show. She talked about how music. She feels, in her opinion, she loves all art, but to her, music is the number one art that mankind gave to this world. And I was like, that's an excellent argument.
Yeah.
I like that. Yes.
Well, I think so, because, it's something that you can't see it before you commit it to its final medium.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with like painting or drawing, you're like, okay, I have a vision for this. And when you say you have a vision for music, it's not really vision. It's not something you see, but it's something like, it's hard to explain. You know what I'm talking about.
I get you, man. My friend Terrence, he's a exquisite musician. Like, he writes really great music. He can play guitar. He can play drums. He plays everything by ear. He's literally written some of the greatest ballads I've ever heard while he's just on the toilet taking
Dude,
and so
it's bizarre. Like, to me, people who can just be like, oh yeah, I can play that, and just pick it up and play it.
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
He explained it to me this way. And I had another friend on who's a musician also, who had the technical term for this, and I don't remember what it was, but Terrence told me that, like, when he's playing something, the notes, like, he closes his eyes and it reminds him of like Guitar Hero. The notes are in shapes or colors, right? Yep. So if he's playing this riff, it's purple, right? He's just playing the purple, and then he plays all the purple notes, and that's what he sees, and he goes on that scale, and that's the way he sees it in his head. And I was like, that's pretty crazy. Do you remember what the term was that Josh was talking about? What it was? There's some technical term for it with the way people see music, but he sees like auras, I guess, or something. And that's the way he was explaining to me. I was like, dude, I've never heard anybody ever say that. That's very, very interesting.
Well, that's how I felt like the first time I had like really strong espresso. I was like, I can tell you what color that guitar riff is,
Espresso. Nice.
But I didn't, I didn't pick up the guitar to paint what color it was.
I thought this conversation was going to be, the first time I did shrooms, and then espresso is what I got. I love it.
We won't talk about the shrooms. They do grow in places.
They do.
That's all I'll say.
Just in case Josh's mom's watching.
No, she'll be all right. She'll be okay. The dudes that I play in a band with, like, I am, dude, I'm just like, I'm lucky. It's like they haven't figured out that I'm that I'm not at their caliber yet.
Okay.
Because I'm playing with you guys remember Omov?
Yes.
Casey and Jason from Omov are in the band I'm in currently, and I'm just like, I don't feel like I deserve to be in a band with that kind of musicianship. I'm like, these dudes, and they've known each other forever, and their bond when writing songs, and it doesn't matter what kind of music, because what we're doing is drastically different from Omov, but just to watch them work together, I'm like, God, I'm so lucky to be able to work with them too, and to come up with art, and it's just insane to watch them work, because it's just like, to watch it happen. It's just like a spark, and then that spark just turns into a house fire because one of them will be like, "Oh, I've got this that I'm working with," and the other one's like, "Oh, okay, all right, well, yeah," and then just weaves it together on the spot. It's insane.
It also helps that I think they kind of grew up together playing music together, so they're like their minds are very in sync with each other.
Oh yeah. I'm not sure. I don't want to be wrong about it, but I know for a fact they've been playing together for definitely over 15 years. Like definitely, because even they were in a band together. I think even before Omaf, and like they've always played together. It's like, you know, you find a person that makes magic work, and they make magic work.
Yeah, I remember when they all migrated down here from Tennessee.
Yeah.
And Jason used to push buggies at Sam's Club.
Yeah.
And I was working there too in the cooler, and he always come in there to cool off. I'm like, dude, get out of here. You smell like BO.
Yeah. Look,
it's cool in here though,
man. Well, in Alabama summers though, man, pushing them carts.
He'd come in there and we'd talk about dogs.
Yeah, dude. Well, and you know what's funny is y'all might have talked about dogs, but he ended up, I think he ended up a cat dude. He's got like,
really?
Yeah, he's got
what
this. No,
I'm kidding.
I mean, he had that guinea pig for the longest time.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
a snake.
I remember the snake. Is that why I don't remember the guinea pig? Whoops.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry. R.I.P. guinea pig. No, he's got cats. He's got this big Maine Coon.
I love those cats.
God,
They're so lazy and cuddly.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, you know, a lot of cats have the temperament where they're like, you know, it's a privilege to pet me. But Darwin's like, I'm coming in there and I'm going to make you love me. And that's what it's all about. Anytime I go over there for band practice or to record or whatever we're working on, I'm just like, all right, I'm just kind of looking around. Where's Darwin? I know he's going to roll down here and I'm going to get to pet that fluffy kitty.
Nice. Before we get into talking about your new band, though, I want to go back in a time machine to Escape Artist. Do we have one of your bandmates on, your previous bandmates on here, English?
Yeah, man. Escape Artist was a lot of fun, and it's I don't know, man.
Was that your first band that you were in, Escape Artist?
Yeah, it was the first one I did that that actually got out and played shows. You know how bands are. You know, you do some stuff kicking around with your guys when you're younger, and you know, you never really make anything happen with it. But that was the first one that we actually like got out and played shows and played on shows with notable bands. And man, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. And it was cool, man. It was definitely cool for the moment. The way I've aged, I don't know if my voice could still do some of the things I was doing then, because boy, was I angry. We were talking about angst and anger a minute ago. And a lot of that went into those songs. And it's like, you know, I still get angry writing music, but I find different ways to channel it. Like with that, it was just like, yeah, I'm mad and I'll get in your face about it. And what are you going to do about it? And, you know, it's just like butthead angst lyrics and music, but at the same time it was fun. We wrote a bunch of songs that I'm still pretty proud of, man. It's like, especially towards the end of when we were working on that and we started like actually all getting older from when we started Escape Artist till when it ended. You could see, you know, you can listen to it and you can hear our growth, regardless of who may have come and gone in the band. The core was always me, English, and Lance as the core. And then there was a lot of rotation in and out from a lot of friends that were capable to play existing material and then also capable to write new material. But dude, it was awesome. A lot of cool shows we played, Cave 9 and man, I miss that place. And dude, it was rad. Played with Poison the Well. That's like one of my favorites. Played with Poison the Well. And Every Time I Die, which is like one of my favorite bands. You want to talk about a dude who can write lyrics? He was an English teacher, And he was like, all right, I'm going to go play in a band and kind of see where it takes me. And then he was like, I knew the band was successful when I got hand tattoos.
Nice.
So,
sign of approval.
Right. But yeah, that was awesome. That was good stuff. And I listened to that actually, and I heard English is involved in a new band.
Mm-hmm.
And
nice old pop punk, man.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, with his pedigree, he's probably going to take some of the pop out of it and just make it punk because, dude is punk rock.
Oh, to the core.
Breathes it, sleeps it, eats it.
To the core.
And I'm interested to see what he's going to do with it. I'm sure it's going to be excellent. He's playing bass in that, right? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Then he's going to play bass for them. Or if he's already playing bass for them, I guess. I'm not really sure. But.
It's going to be awesome then because, dude's bass playing ability is incredible.
Yeah, he's all around like super musically talented.
Yeah, absolutely. And his whole family is like I definitely heard him touch on that. It's like
in the code, the genetic code.
Yeah, that was definitely written somewhere on the strand.
Yeah,
like as it was
it's a clef note.
Yeah,
in the DNA strand.
yeah. Like if you were able to like physically pull it out like a little deal, you would see a song written within it. And you even talked to him about that.
So is it true that he? How many times did he say, Matt? He beat you up like 4 or 5 times, and then one time
did he beat me up?
He made you cry.
It was closer. It was closer to 8, I think. It was close to 8. No. It was close to 8. We. To be fully transparent, being in a band with people sometimes isn't nice, especially when you're young and in bands and, people say and do things that they might not be proud of. And, the best part about it is I think we're all grown to the point where we realize none of that matters, dude. You get into like real life and growing up and starting to take care of things and have responsibilities, and you realize you're like,
dumb.
Let it ride.
Yeah. Stuff that you do when you're kids. Who cares? Water on the bridge, over the dam, all that bullshit.
Yep.
So
water in the cup.
Yeah, liquid death.
Liquid death. Murder your thirst.
It's so crazy. When I saw the hat, dude, the liquid death, I was like, okay, this is either banned, which I assumed firstly, and then secondly, I was like, or it's some kind of like alcoholic beverage, or it's a hot sauce. And then none of those were like, it was water. It's the last thing I would have ever guessed.
I do love hot sauce though.
Me too, man.
What's your favorite hot sauce? Not to flip the script and start.
No.
Talking
I mean, this might be kind of lame or cliched. Sriracha.
Do you know what?
I grew up. Here's the thing. I grew up eating sriracha in noodle soup. Right.
Yeah.
I have an Asian background in my heritage. So.
Yeah, I believe I heard in one of the shows your mom's Vietnamese.
Yes, correct.
Awesome.
And so I was eating that stuff in soup and just on food well before it was ever popular, before it was a meme, before it was a T-shirt, before it was anything.
Yeah.
I remember like some of my friends were like, "Oh, what is that? It has a rooster on the bottle." And I was like, "Oh, it's hot sauce." And they're like, "Oh, that's weird, man. Why do you put that in soup?" And I was like, "'Cause it's delicious."
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Hey, why do you rouse me about what I want to do? Let me eat my soup the way I want to eat my soup.
Yeah, sriracha, just I guess circumstantially, because I grew up with it, so that's probably my default.
The thing. I mean, like you get, it's a creature comfort thing. You know that one, and it's flavor palette, so you know what you can do.
Yeah, every time I eat it, it's nostalgia just hits me.
This I went one of my favorite hot sauces, and we'll get back to music after this. That I found recently. I went to place called World Market over in Hoover. All right, they got this one, and I think it's a person's name, so I probably won't get bleeped for this. I told my wife because I got a sailor's mouth. I'm trying not to get bleeped when I go on here. This hot sauce is called Dirty Dicks, and it's spicy. It's habanero, but there's also like some kind of citrus elements to it. I don't know if it's like pineapple or something in there, but I'm like, man, I've never tasted anything quite like this. I've tasted citrusy ones, but they didn't have as much bite as that. But yeah, anyway, Dirty Dicks hot sauce.
Dirty Dicks hot sauce.
Wash it down with some liquid death. Murder your thirst.
Josh, I'll do all the sponsorships here. You just sit over there.
Look, man, I'm just trying, man. I'm trying. Now go ahead.
He's trying to make a living. Yeah, so for me, for hot sauce is like, I know other people. I have a friend actually who just, the hotter the better. He wants stuff that's going to literally turn his butthole into a volcano.
No, sir.
For me, it's not like I don't need to be crying and my nose running. Like, I like the flavors. That's like, does that make sense?
Yeah,
like,
no, totally. Because
because if it doesn't taste good, I'm like, oh, I don't, dude, I don't care how spicy it is or how not spicy. It doesn't matter.
I don't need theatrics with it. I don't need it. I don't want to eat any of it for sport, really. I wanted to have I call it a sting. I wanted to have some sting and some good flavor to it. And, I'm not like, people are like, oh, I got this like Carolina Reaper, ghost pepper, death smoke, whatever. And I'm like, oh, well, I hope you enjoy it. They're like, yeah, it's like, it's got like all the Scoville units. And I'm like, all right, man, we'll enjoy your Scovilles and, your reconstructive tongue surgery and butthole surgery. I'm just going to enjoy my flavorful hot sauces. Thank you.
Try Satan's urethra right
now.
Yeah. It's free promotion. Only one death per serving every 10 servings.
Funnel down some of this demon blood hot sauce. Oh, sir. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good on that.
Yeah, I like the flavor, man. I like the spice, like a little kick. I like to breathe. I like a little slap in the face, but not like, if like my mouth is burned out, I'm just not enjoying it. Because I've eaten hot wings like that before, and I was like, I don't want to eat these now. My mouth is on fire.
Yeah, it's like I feel like I'm being punished for trying to finish my meal, and that's ridiculous to feel that way. What I do for a job is I'm a grocery shopper. I shop the orders and then I deliver it to people, and because of that, I see all these hot sauces when I'm on the aisle, and I'm like, I want to try that one. I want to try that one. I want to try that one. And I've ended up trying a bunch of them because of that. And I've found some really cool stuff. But
do you have like a collection of hot sauce at your house? Right?
Yeah, dude, it's stupid. Like, it's a whole ordeal. Like, when it's mealtime and it's something that requires hot sauce, I'm like, all right, what are we going to do with this today? And as I did it earlier, we had eggs, and actually I put the dirty dicks on that. It was eggs and sausage and bacon, like in a bowl. It's like a Jimmy Dean bowl. I was like, I can just throw together a quick breakfast before I go and take care of this business. Thank you again for having me, by the way.
Oh yeah.
And I put the dirty dicks on the Jimmy Dean bowl this morning. I was like, that was good. That's right where I need to be. So
excellent. A good like a supermarket hot sauce to have is Crystal hot sauce. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's very standard, but I love the flavor. I love the tang to it.
Well, see, and here's what happened. I think
it's the vinegar they have in it.
We go to New Orleans a good bit, and there's a restaurant we were eating in, and they had.
Are you Cajun, by the way?
I'm not. No, okay. I'm not. I'm probably
the opposite.
Could be adopted by the Cajun people as often as as we go. We love New Orleans, and the food is one of the big draws. But we were in a restaurant down there, and I knew of Crystal hot sauce, and I grabbed it. I was like, all right, I'm gonna put this on my chicken. There's a fried chicken spot down there called Coop's on Decatur. It is magnificent. But I grabbed it, and I was just like, damn, this Crystal hot sauce tastes better than Crystal hot sauce is supposed to taste. And I was looking at the bottle. I'm like, what? Why is it different? Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, this bottle looks different. Is it like a restaurant special bottle? Because it's usually blue on the label. It was red on the label. I was like, what is it? And then I saw it said extra hot, and I was like, So like, but even though it says extra hot, it's still not aggressive. It still maintains everything that makes the original Crystal great.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps the integrity, but it's just got just a little bit more sting. I was talking about the sting. It's got a little bit more.
So do they actually sell that like up here in the stores? I feel like I've never seen it.
Well, the
Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, because they carry a bunch of stuff that the Louisiana grocery stores carry. There's like Zatarain stuff you can get down there that you can't get in like a Publix or a Walmart per se. There's different hot sauces. Definitely try there. I've definitely seen the Crystal Extra Hot there, and it's good. Like I said, it's same flavor profile, just a little bit more pop to it.
Nice.
And it's good. Still got that vinegary quality that you were talking about.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love how we're talking about hot sauce. You like hot sauce, Matt? No, Matt doesn't like any effing hot sauce.
What? Why not?
Last time I saw him eat something spicy, he poured a bunch of ranch on it.
Oh, well, you know what though?
I'm putting on blast right now. It's okay, man.
That's all right. Hey, man, look, you just see what makes you happy, okay?
Yeah, just keep eating Fruit Loops.
Look, hey, nothing wrong with Fruit Loops. Follow your nose. I'm just
so bad.
I've got to stop plugging products on this thing, man.
No, I feel like you should be like our official like mascot for doing this. Like next commercial that I film, Matt, he's gonna.
Yeah, man, just let me in, dude. I'll make it happen.
Hell yeah, man.
But
what I was going to ask is we're going to go back to music. Hot sauce, man. Hey, hot sauce is a real thing. It's food art.
Yes, sir.
It's food
100%.
art. So the band that you're in now, tell me about that. What's it called?
It's called.
What kind of band is it?
It's Adlet. It's ADLET. We are on Facebook. We are on Bandcamp. But it's it was inspired by more like stoner rock type stuff. There's a band we all
Grateful
got.
Dead?
No. No, not the jam band stoner rock. More like getting like Caius and stuff like that. But the main band that really inspired it all to be put together was a band called ASG, and it's like a mix of like desert rock, Queens of the Stone Age, Caius type stuff with just a little bit of like just a peppering of the southern stoner rock and sludgy type stuff. And that's what prompted us to start that, and that's kind of like the vibe it has. But the stuff we just got through recording, because it's been a crazy year. It's been a crazy few years for a lot of the people in the band. We just pulled those experiences, and we're going to re-record some of the songs from the album that is available, and we've changed tuning, and it's insane how changing the tuning on some of those songs changed the whole vibe. Change the tuning, slow them down a little bit. Now everything is leaning more towards like kind of crowbar type vibes, but not all the way. It's hard to describe, but yeah, it's definitely more stoner rock and kind of sludgy influences involved in that. And it's, it was kind of a change of pace. They were, they were working on Omaf, and
like I was about to say, that's a far cry from the grindcore stuff you were doing in that band.
Polar opposites, and
I love that. I love the dynamic there.
Right, and it's something that we all became kind of obsessed with ASG, and it's just like, dude, this band is so good. And Jason and Casey were like, we kind of want to do something similar to that, and they asked me, like, you want to do vocals for it? I was like, you really want me to mess those songs up?
Nah.
But no, I'm actually really proud of what I was able to do to a lot of those songs, and I'm really proud of what we're working on right now. We got to put a final mix on it. Everything's done being recorded, but it's going to be, I think, 5 new songs and then 5 reworked songs from the album we previously put out, and it's going to be legit, and I think it's really going to like surprise people who may only know them from Omaf. Like if they haven't checked out this band previously, they're going to be like, wow, it's the same dudes. And our bass player, Tommy, he's in another band around here. It's like probably my favorite local band. One of my probably top 5 favorite local bands, and they're definitely near the top. I'll get bleeped for this, but it's fine. They're called the Damn Rights, and man, I don't know. I love that band. I love the energy they bring, and Tommy's got a background. He's got a pedigree a mile long in different Birmingham bands, but I love that one. And we had a bass player that he had to move across the country, and we're like, what are we gonna do? And Tommy was like, yeah, man, I'll play bass. It's like, what a gift. Again, embarrassment of riches. And then here I am, like, nervous that they're going to find me out and be like, oh, this dude don't belong in our band. But I guess I'm fun to hang out with. So
I feel like that's the speech of a true artist. Like all real good artists are always like very self-critical of themselves, right? They're always like, they're seeking that perfection from themselves. So that's what pushes them to be better and better and better and better.
Right.
And even when they get super good, it's still just not like, they're like, oh, it's okay. But meanwhile, they're like, selling out crowds or making people cry or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll ever move anybody to that point, but like everybody that gets involved in something, art-wise, they get sensitive about it to a degree, but also at the same time, they try to be realistic about it. And I'm like, I am proud of what I've done in the band, but then, like I said, I look around at the talent I'm surrounded with, and I'm like, I really feel like I'm, running in the 88th percentile, and all these boys are running in the 95th percentile, and I'm just like,
But that's good though, right? It's a driving force to help push you to be better and hone your craft.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
And that's what's awesome is with recording vocals is Jason is running everything, and I'll do a part, and he's like, no. I'm like, okay, well, I'll do it again. And he's like, you're almost there, but no. So it's like, it pushes me. I'm like, I want to give it the best take I can, because I don't want to hear this dude say no. I want him to be like, that's it. That's that one.
Yeah, it's like that director in the film that you're making, and it's like, that's the line right there.
That's it.
You got it. It only took 700 takes.
You're right.
Boom. Cut, wrap. It's a print.
Now,
Let's
luckily, in my recording experience with this band, I haven't done anything really that's taken a lot of takes. But like when we recorded the first album, the one that's on Bandcamp and whatever, we the song where I was like, this one's gonna be easy, man. I'm just gonna get in there and run through it. One take, we'll be done with it. On to the next one. Not in the cards. What happened was, because I thought of how easy it was gonna be, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna breeze through it. Nah, man. Sometimes the plan changes. Whatever fate has in store is like, oh no, you're going to spend more time on this song than any other song on the record. Meanwhile, the one where I was like nervous about it, I was like, God, this is going to take me like 3 days just to record this one song to get all the parts right. I got in there and like I was done with it in like 20 minutes maybe. And dude, I'm just like,
the irony, right?
It's insane, and it's it's weird, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who makes music who notices that or makes art, and it's like, man, the part you think is going to be easy is the part that really just comes up and puts his foot on your neck, and then the parts you think are going to be hard are the ones you just kind of like, I guess because you practiced more getting there. Once it's game time, you're just like, boom, there it is.
So music is obviously probably one of the most important things in your life. I feel
Definitely.
like it's a big shaping tool for who you are as
Absolutely.
a person. How long do you think you'll be doing this? Like being in a band, doing music to the day you die? Do you have what does that look like? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like I'll do it as long as I can. Obviously, we were talking about as you get older and other responsibilities kind of take root. You have a little bit less time for music. So the time that I do have for music, I cherish it. And, it's a perfect blend. Everybody's schedule is coming together and we're all able to get in one room, usually on Sundays. That's usually what makes the most sense. Because none of us are missing church, Devil's music. You said it.
I did say it. That's right.
But, that's usually when it happens. So when we get in there, it's like, man, for like 4 or 5 hours, we can just forget everything else and just work on that. And that's what it is. Might pass the point of trying to play music really to get big or, like
make a full-time living out of it.
Yeah. No, we're not doing that. We're definitely just doing it for fun. And since it is for fun,
that's the most important part though, right? Like some people follow those dreams about stuff like that, but it's only for the money of it, right? So then it becomes, you turn it into this like gross 9-to-5 job,
right? When
really it's just something. Like if you loved it so much, you would do it whether you were like became big or not, right? It's just something that you want to do.
Well, and that's the thing. It's been for me. Anytime I've played in a band, whether it's this or Escape Artist or Witch Language or whatever it might be, it was always just like I just love playing music and creating music and being like, man, it's wild to be a part of something that I would listen to and to be involved in the creation of it. And it's always meant a lot to me. And again, it's a great outlet for like any nonsense and tomfoolery you deal with during the course of your week, or whatever it is. Basically, I just save it up, kind of let it go at band practice. Music was, it's been a big deal for me, like forever. It's hard for me to really decide if my first love was music or baseball, but the more I think about it, I feel like it was definitely music, because I've got memories tied to music earlier than I have memories tied to baseball. And I love baseball.
Same here.
But
Go Braves.
Go Braves, man. Yeah. They're looking good this year. We could get into that later if you want to. But music,
they screwed
man,
the pooch in the playoffs last year. Sorry. Go ahead.
To
Sorry.
be fair, and I'll say this, and I've got friends who are Dodgers fans, and I'm going to tell you guys the truth. Congratulations on the World Series, but it would have been a tougher road if Mike Soroka was healthy, and I won't hear anything to the contrary.
Boom.
But again, I could do that all day. But as far as music memories, I remember like riding to daycare with my mom, and she had, dude, I loved Heard It Through the Grapevine by Marvin Gaye. And I remember like every day I would ride to daycare, I would want to hear that. And it was because of the California Raisins. Do you remember the California Raisins?
Vaguely, but yeah.
I was about to say,
I had like a little plushie that like somebody passed me down or something.
Yeah, but like their whole thing was, it was to sell raisins, but they came up with this claymation deal, and they're all like Motown looking raisins, coolest
with the
raisins
sunglasses.
you'll ever see. One of them had a saxophone, I think.
Hell yeah.
And then they were friends with like a broccoli dude. His name was Lick Broccoli, and he was based on Mick Jagger. Had these big, over exaggerated lips, and he was wild, always dancing, strutting around. But anyway, I would always hear Heard It Through the Grapevine. You see what they did there? Grapes, raisins, But I would always hear that watching California Raisins, and I would tell Mom and Beck, I want to listen to that on the way to daycare this morning, or preschool or whatever. And I remember riding around in her 87 Cutlass Supreme. Boy, that thing was clean. I wish I knew where that car was nowadays. But anyway, and that's some of my earliest memories. And she put me onto a bunch of the Motown stuff like that, like Temptations and
I love
it, right.
much, dude.
Marvin Gaye, and then the Commodores, and even into like Archie Bell and the Drells. She knows some like deep stuff that Spinners, Four Tops, all that stuff. And then, but also she was really into like 80s and 90s country, which I still have an affinity for that. And then when my dad was around, I would hear like some of the more outlaw country.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, see, and
cowboy music.
It's awesome, because it's like I still carry a lot of this with me through. It's just like I pack all this music I'm listening to in a bag, and then I start carrying it with me into my life, and then I'm like, along the way, you're like, oh, that's cool, and you just add that to your bag, and that's the magic of music. But he would listen to like the old Southern rock bands and the outlaw country, and he liked both of the Hanks. They're up to 4 Hanks now. Did you know that?
I didn't know there was a 4th one. Okay. So
yeah,
Hank
III's son is about to put out his first bit of music. He looks just like him, and I heard a clip of it. He sounds just like him.
So what kind
too.
of music is it?
It's the same stuff that like Hank III was doing, where it's like the throwback outlaw country.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be good. Yeah,
Nice.
He's like, because now that I know you have an affinity for that, I'll message you when it comes out. Be like, yo, go check this out.
Yeah, dude. My cousin Drayton Farley, he does like old school, like folksy country stuff, kind of like Sturgill. You probably heard him. He's from, what is it, Woodstock?
Okay,
and
my mom lives down that way.
He's just grown himself organically. He has like, I don't know, like over 300,000 downloads. But
that's insane.
He had that song "American Dream."
Okay,
we'll listen to it after the show. But
yeah.
Anyways, his music reminds me of like Sturgill Simpson and Chris Stapleton, that kind of stuff.
Like Cody, what's his name? Is it Cody Jinks? Maybe.
I think so.
There's a few dudes who are really getting into that throwback sound now. Like you got some dudes making the pop country and they're trying to make that happen, but then you got some dudes who are like, no. This is what my daddy listened to, or this is what I remember listening to with my granddad or my mom or whoever. And they're like, I won't make this type of music, and they're crushing it. Jamie Johnson's another one that's killing it. Yeah.
What's funny about my cuz Drayton, he before he started doing his solo, like I guess country music stuff that he's doing now that he's really taken off with, he was his guitarist for a heavy metal band, and then he was in a hardcore band at one point. And so if you listen to a lot of the lyrics, especially like American Dream, like there's a lot of like angsty punk rock lyrics to that Southern sound.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, man. We'll listen to it after the show.
Yeah,
but yeah,
without a doubt, man.
It's just funny. Like people are like, wow, you do this music, but you were playing in that like a devil heavy metal stuff.
But at the same time, I mean, like, and that's the thing,
man. I love that stuff.
Well, it's like, it's you never know what people might listen to outside of what you just think they listen to. Like people see me and they're like, oh yeah, this dude, he's obviously a heavy metal dude. And I'm like, yeah, but I also like the Dirty Dancing soundtrack is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time.
The time of my life.
All right, we'll do that duet later too. We'll do that after we
and then you can
to
catch me and lift me into the air.
Yeah. We'll go outside. I want a couple of practice runs first, and if you get hurt, I'm going to make you sign a disclaimer saying that I'm,
You're not liable for my injuries.
Liable.
Yeah.
I'm not. No. But like even that, or like I love Tori Amos and Fiona Apple and stuff like that, and like
You like any boy bands? Is there any guilty pleasures there?
Well, I don't really believe in guilty pleasures, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, why feel guilty about enjoying music, dude? Music is to be enjoyed. Now, I like.
What would you say, like people listening to this right now, that you listen to that people are like, what? You like that? No way, Josh. You don't. That's crazy. I can't believe he likes that.
Well, it would probably be like Lana Del Rey, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Or Tori Amos, or something like that. But see, most people that know me, they're not surprised. They're like, yeah, dude just loves music. But it's like, one that might surprise people is like, I don't know, maybe Yellow Wolf.
I've never heard of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yellow Wolf, he's a rapper.
Oh, okay. I said band.
Yeah, well,
see, that's how much I don't know.
When you go see him live, I don't know if he still does it, but he was carrying a band with him. He definitely had a guitar player, bass player,
nice,
and a DJ dude instead of a drummer. But like, I don't know. People they probably see me and they're like, that dude don't like hip hop, but I like some hip hop. Not a lot of the newer hip hop. The only thing really new that I mess with, like I said, is maybe some of the Yellow Wolf stuff. Run the Jewels. I love Run the Jewels. I love Killer Mike from Run the Jewels. But yeah, I think as far as surprising people, it might be something like the Dirty Dancing soundtrack, or like the Lost Boys soundtrack. Maybe stuff like that.
Thou shalt not.
Nah, dude. The Jam is the one with the saxophone man. The I Still Believe. That gives Cry Little Sister a run for its money, but Cry Little Sister's it's the bop. It's good. It's a good song. Soundtracks, man. It's something that I feel like people making movies nowadays don't focus on as much. Because, like even since the 90s, the way that media is consumed has shifted so dramatically. So maybe you don't have to worry about soundtracks as much. It's like people still make music videos, but the channel designated for playing the music videos, just shows you like, teen moms and ridiculousness and stuff like that. And it's like, you never see music on there.
It makes me so sad.
I know. It's like, okay, you guys can't rebrand. Look how easy it is for somebody to rebrand. Like, just rebrand. Don't say music television.
Right. I know.
And they're like, I think they even tried it with like, oh no, we're just MTV now. Okay, well, what does the M stand for? We know what TV stands for.
It's infuriating to me.
Yeah, it breaks my heart, man. The art of the music video is, unfortunately, I don't want to admit it, but I think it's a dying art. Either it's a dying art or it's being reborn in ways.
I hope it's being reborn.
Well, based
I feel
on
like
some of
people
the
need this
things
in their life.
I've seen, like it's easier to get it to people now. They don't have to wait for it to come on. It's like, oh, our video premieres at 5 on MTV, and it's like, oh, you missed it. Oh, that sucks. And that's how it was like back in the day. It's like, I got to be home. Corn's about to put out this Freak on a Leash video, like I was talking about earlier. But now it's just like, hey, we're gonna upload the video on our YouTube channels or our Facebook channels on this day, so you can come watch it whenever you're ready. And it's not
as exciting.
There's not much I think that's like, as far as boy bands, NSYNC.
NSYNC.
If I was gonna pick a boy band to listen to, I'd go with NSYNC. I think there's a little bit more talent.
Now, is there a bias because of Justin Timberlake and his R&B, his sweet R&B career? He's good.
Yeah,
he's real good.
Well, and I think that's what it is. Is like
that's why I would pick NSYNC because of Justin Timberlake.
He gives me vibes in his solo career that remind me of some of the dudes who were doing music back in there. I get a little bit of Michael Jackson vibes from him, but at the same time, there'll never be enough. And some musicians are irreplaceable, but the people who can still wear their influence from those that can't ever be replicated are the ones who I might have a bias towards.
Yeah, you got musical notes in the blood, my man.
Well, yeah,
in the
I
blood.
think so.
I love it. I love your passion for it. It's infectious. Like I would have listen. I would just stop the show and just start playing music right now. Anyways, you were right though, man. We could literally go on all day about talking about music,
absolutely.
Man. But I'm going to ask you towards the end of the show. Mm-hmm. Like we've loosened you up, getting you to talk about music. Now you can tell us about all the skeletons in your closet. What do you, Josh Bradford, what are the things that you've been wrestling with in your life? I know this is like a crazy deviation right off of music, but hey.
Yeah, well.
Music is already your heart, it's already your passion, it's already your soul.
At the same time,
what are the things that plague you?
Well, at the same time, it's really not far off base because music is kind of
your medicine.
Yeah. Like I said, that's a big thing for me, and it's like one of the things I really wrestle with, and it's like I'm a really happy dude, but at the same time, it's also there's certain days where it's like I get really invasive, really really dark thoughts, and it's like I can't help it. I don't invite them. Obviously, but some days you just wake up and you're like, I don't want to be here anymore. And it's not that I really don't want to be here, but it's just like something in there is not wired the right way. But I'm working on it constantly. I'm wrestling with it, as you said. Music's one of the ways that I do it. I've always heard when you're listening to music, if you hear the tune, you're happy. If you're paying attention to the words, you're sad. And like in the past few years, it's like I feel like I've paid attention to the words more. I always pay attention to the words
because you're a lyricist,
right? Yeah. Of course, but it's just kind of been that kind of climate. But it's rough, man. It's like because you really don't. That's not who you are, but the thoughts find a way to get in there, and it's like seeds of doubt, seeds of it's like do I deserve the things I have? Like I've got a wife who man I love so much, and she is so awesome and so helpful. On any days that I have bad days, we always talk about the teamwork dynamic. She's like, some days I'm gonna have to carry it. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm so used to carrying it. And she's like, yeah, but some days I'm going to have to. And I think, the carrying it might be, it's kind of like, when you're carrying that, you don't think about the weakness, like the cracks that open up for those thoughts to slip in. But it's just really about managing those thoughts and realizing that I do my best when I meet people to bring positive energy. I'm a big believer in energy and vibes. Because I know what energy can do, I always try to, even if I'm having a bad day, anytime I go in anywhere, if it's the grocery store, if it's, if I stop at the gas station on the way out of here, whatever it is, I want to take positive energy in there, check on people. Hey, how's your day going? That makes a difference, just to ask people that. And that might spark positivity in them, and then you can watch that spread. And how far does that go before the end of the night? Maybe one kind act from me changes the day of 9 other people. And that idea makes me very happy. But on the other side of that coin, if I take all my bad stuff in there with me, and then I let that go on somebody who's not responsible for it, then it does the same thing, but it's like poison spreading. And you're dealing with now negative energy. And it's like, okay, well, how many people had a terrible day because I went in and I was rude to one person? So it's about managing that, trying to find ways to do it. I use music to do it. I like to get up in the morning and stretch and just take time to myself. Get up, have water, stretch, listen to some music. Kind of set my affirmations for the day. It's like, man, it's going to be a good day. Try to get in that positive headspace and stay there and combat it. But that's a battle, and I'm sure everybody fights it, and not everybody talks about it. But I'm an advocate for talking about it. I'm an advocate for listening to people about it because, I would rather listen to somebody than go to their funeral. Like that's dark. That's a dark place to take it. But that's some of the thoughts I have. Some days I get up and I'm just like, I don't, what am I even doing here? But then I realize I'm like, I've got purpose, and I try to think about it as when it is my time to go. I want people to be like, like bummed that I'm gone, kind of. Not like bummed that I'm gone, but like want anybody who thinks of me after my time's up to be like, man, what a good dude. Or he was always a nice guy. I don't want there to be too many negative thoughts of me. And I feel like if I can live longer, fight that fight, stay in the game, I have more of a chance to bring that positive energy to people and then let that spread. And I don't care to take credit for it spreading. I just care that it spreads. World's a weird place, man. It needs more positive energy in it. It needs more positive people in it. I'm just trying to do better. Just trying to do better as a human. Like, again, just being nice to people. Real simple thing. I don't struggle with that at all. But I struggle with like keeping my journey going so that I can bring that to other people. But at the same time, I'm still here. Yeah. So I'm still winning.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can imagine like that can be a pretty heavy cross to bear too, right? Like you're trying to be a beacon of positivity for other people and just spread love and joy and friendship. But then you're also like wrestling with your own like inner demons and stuff like that. And sometimes it's heavy, right? And you're like, man, like it's like doing good for just the sake of good. There's no reward for it. Like you might even still get on, but like you're just doing it just because like it's what you feel you should do. It's what's right? That moral fiber hitting you.
Right. And that's, that's the thing too. It's like, I'm like, I'm alive. And if I'm alive, I can fight. And if I can fight, I can win. And that's the way I have to approach it. Like any day I wake up and there are invasive thoughts or anything that's making me doubt myself, I'm like, no. I'm still breathing. I still got my pulse. I'm in the game. So I can beat this. And then once I beat this, I can go about my day. But some days it's like, or some spurts of it, it's like a few days in a row. But at the same time, I'm like, I can do it. And I just have to remind myself, it's like, when it shows up, I'm like, well, I beat it before, so I can beat it again. And that's that. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. What you were saying, that was very beautifully spoken, by the way. But what you were saying about like, you know, like leaving a positive impact on people for you, right? Because like, what if that like person, like, what if you died, right? Like, what is the last impression that someone that's seen you was like? Where if you were just being an ass for the sake of being an ass, that is the last impression they would have on you. And like, it's better to like spread like camaraderie and community with people because that it's something so much more rewarding in this life.
Right.
I wrote a poem once, and one of the lines in there, because I was thinking about how there's a lot of people that you know would reach out to me, and I wouldn't spend the time to like, because of I just don't have the time to hang out with this person or talk to this person or entertain this person.
Right.
And I really did, right? Because like people that say they don't have the time, if they say that, they're going to believe that, right? They're not ever going to find the time.
Right.
Right. Like Elon Musk is probably one of the most busiest people like you could ever like, I don't know, like learn about.
Right.
But he still finds time to do other things in life. So you can never tell me, just a regular person in life, you're too busy for something. Because then you never know, like if something happens, then you're like, oh man, you know, like they're gone now, and
Exactly.
there's no way to like, what do I do? And so I wrote this line in this poem, and I remember I got emotional about it, but I wrote, what if coffins were coffee shop conversations instead? And
that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, that's the truth though. And it is that it's like, you know, oh man, I don't have time and I'm busy, and people are busy, but sometimes the difference is just a 5-minute conversation. It can make all the difference.
Just one quick shout out,
dude. Yeah, that's it. And it's that simple. And that just that, like I was saying, just speaking to people. Hey, how's your day? Oh, it's good. How's yours, man? Awesome. I can't complain. You know, whatever.
Just one little thing. I've known like friends I've had for years, right? That I reach out to just to say hey, and then they just don't say anything. And it's so weird to me that like. And it's like they don't want to deal with it because it's like it's work, right? To entertain another person, or talk to a person, or do whatever. And so they just don't want to put in the work. And so many people are built like that. It's so weird to me. Like, what's that line from Raging? Silence, something about silence makes me sick. Because silence can be violent, sort of like a slit wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Silence can be very dangerous.
That also goes back to the lyric was probably written pertaining to something else, but then there you go.
Well, that was that's in the interpretation.
That lyric, exactly. And that's why music is magical, dude.
Boom.
That's why it is the best medicine. Right next to laughter. Actually, if you can get a music laughter combo, you know, some kind of cocktail of those drugs will make you feel better. And I always say, I'm like, that's another thing in terms of wrestling with what I wrestle with. I'm like, you know what? I'm still having fun. And if I'm not going to check out till I'm done having fun. And I plan on having fun for as long as I can. I'm going to be dragged into whatever's beyond this place, probably kicking and screaming. I don't think I'm going to just lay down and be like, well, time to die, I guess.
Time to
go. I don't think it'll be that. I think, I'll try to live until I'm out of time to live. And, regardless of, what doubts or what invasive thoughts there may be, I still got people I have to be here for. I still got people I want to be here for. So, gotta win.
That's awesome, dude.
Gotta win.
There's some quote from some movie. I can't place it, but they said in life, people they either get busy living or they get busy dying.
That
and
is
most people
Shawshank Redemption.
Okay, there you go.
In the Morgan Freeman voice.
Like, and you my friend.
I'm gonna try my Morgan Freeman.
Go ahead.
You either get busy living or you get busy dying. It's terrible.
No, I thought that was actually not bad.
Yeah, you know what it wasn't? It wasn't Morgan Freeman. There's only one of those. We were talking about that. Michael Jackson, Prince, Morgan Freeman, Jack Nicholson. I like so many irreplaceables, but Morgan Freeman and voiceovers will not be the same when it's that dude's time to go.
But that quote is absolutely real. And too many people run around and they're busy dying, right? Instead of living. And you, my friend, you were super busy. Just living.
I'm doing my best, man. I actually back in Escape Artist, and the song never got recorded. There was a dude who just like, he remembered me from times before Escape Artist, and he MySpace messaged me. It was that far back, and he just like was talking shit. I know I said I wasn't gonna get bleeped, but this is worth it. And I was just like, why is this dude just out of the blue? And I never even like, we went to school together, but I never interacted with the dude. And I'm like, what is he mad about? I'm like, it's just mad for no reason. But I wrote a lyric, and I didn't apply it. I applied it to a song, but the song never got recorded. I said, I guess you're mad that we're both alive, but only one of us is living.
Ooh,
and like
nice.
I just scorched this dude for like a full song, and just because it's like, man, how dare you get so bored with your life that you have to come after somebody that like you've never even had a real conversation with.
There's a big world out there, dude. Get going doing something.
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm like,
spend your time getting offended.
Well, yeah, right. And that's the thing. It's like, you meet somebody and you might meet them the first time and you're like, oh, this person's an asshole or like whatever. But like you get far enough into a conversation, and if you can sidestep some of the no-nos to talk about and just find common ground somewhere, music, movies, skateboarding, finger painting.
Yeah, and that should be the first thing that you do. And then all the
Right.
disagreements are the things on the outside.
Right. This dude was just mad because of like what I dressed like in high school and what I was into. And like, he was just mad. He's like, you were one of them devil music freaks and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, dude, I guess I was. Like, I can't be like I wasn't, but I'm like, that's all you know about me. So it's,
Book cover. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
story.
yeah, you didn't even open it to read the flap. Like, you just saw the cover and was like, yeah, this guy sucks. And I'm like, yeah, I might, but like, take more than one bite before you figure out, you don't like it. It's ridiculous.
Take more than one bite.
And that's the thing. It's like, I hate to like, especially as I get older, to write mean songs about people, because I don't have enough experiences to where I'm like, this person just pissed me off to this point. If somebody does piss me off to that point, I'll take that experience and apply it to something else. Way I write lyrics is weird. It's rare that I sit down and I'm like, boom, full song. Usually it's like, all right, here's a few lines. All right, here's a few lines. And I'm like, did those work together? How did I feel when I wrote this? But like with that dude, I was just like, shoo. I was like, how dare you, man?
That's good, man. He gave you gasoline.
He did.
You should tip your hat to him, bro.
I'm not gonna say his name. I hope you get bad news today. I'll say that. That's the nicest I can be about. I'm not gonna hope anything bad happens to him. I hope you were mildly inconvenienced today. I hope when you eat lunch you are out of hot sauce.
And on that note, we're going to wrap it up.
Sounds good, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you,
It's
dude.
been awesome.
Let me, before I do wrap it up, plug in your band and social medias or anything. Any way people want to get in touch with you or listen to your art? Or
The band is on Facebook. It's Adlet, A-D as in damn, L-E-T. It might be Adlet Bama. You can find us. It's as soon as you get to the page, you're like, oh yeah, that's it. Think the Bandcamp is also Adlet Bama. Find us on there, man. I'm excited for what's coming out. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, definitely look on Facebook, type in Adlet Bama. We will be the only Adlet from Alabama. Anything else will be music from other parts of the world. The name Adlet, you want to get into what that's about?
Sure.
Before we go, Adlet, real quick, I'm obsessed with like cryptids, Bigfoot, Loch Ness monsters, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're out there, probably drinking liquid death.
I love it.
But Adlet is a shapeshifter from way up north, and it's like a race of dog people. And I am a dog person. I love my dogs, but I was just looking into cryptids one day. I'm like, that's a sick name. It translates to,
Sounds cool.
yeah, it's Inuit. It translates to those below. And I was like, yo, that's
Those
too
below.
sick. Yeah.
Nice.
And I was like, I know there's not a band named Adlet. And the other music pages I found, it's just like, none of them are really bands. It's just like, I don't know.
So I feel like you should use that for the next name for the next record that you do. The Adlet. Those below.
I think the next record is either going to be called
The record after then.
or for a song title or something like that. I need to put it in there so that way it's like known what the song's about. It's like, bands will write songs like they, oh, that's the band's name on that song. Yeah, well, that's usually a good representation of the band.
Josh, thank you so much.
Hey, man,
bro.
dude, thank
really
you so
appreciate
much. It has been amazing. You are doing good things here. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Ladies and gentlemen, creatures and gentlemen, ladies and creatures, another episode of the Wrestling Diaries podcast show for the average Joe, the art of struggle. That's where we're at. Josh's old friend. Good times, great oldies. Oldies 106.9. How many people know what I'm saying there?
I know it.
Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Public. Also, slide on over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Show us some love. Tell people about us. If you like what we're doing and you believe in it, then try to help us grow. Like, honestly, if anybody listened to this and anybody's listening to the sound of my voice right now, and you like what we're doing, we're connecting people from all around, from people that love different things, people that have different beliefs, people of different races. I have people from different countries on here. And what's so similar is they all like follow a same suit about like the struggles that make them more wonderful. And I think that's very important. What do you wrestle with and how can you beat it? Like Bob Marley said, one love.